When I first heard of lucid dreaming, it wasn't something that I necessarily saw as a skill, as something that would need to be maintained and nurtured in order to succeed. I also didn't think of it in terms of beginner, intermediate and advanced. I somewhat quite naively believed that as soon as I put into practice the techniques that I'd been reading about, that all of my dreams would be lucid and that I would have full conscious awareness of it all. I would have full control over the content of my dreams, and that these dreams would go on for hours and hours and hours, and that essentially I would be the master of my own lucid dreams. I didn't quite appreciate or understand the level of effort required for such an ambitious goal. And not only was it an ambitious goal, it was also incredibly unrealistic. However, even after this realization, for me, my ultimate goal in learning how to be lucid was to achieve that. It was to achieve frequent lucid dreams, a good level of awareness, a good level of control, and the ability to have lucid dreams that feel, at least, like they go on for hours and hours and hours. Now, I've been lucid dreaming for about 8.5 years now, and my opinion and thoughts on what a lucid dreaming master is have definitely changed. Now, I think that James, Spacetime Badass, might have made a video similar to this. And I think we might have done one for Team Lucid Dream, or at least we were going to, just discussing what makes an advanced lucid dreamer, or what can we consider advanced in the lucid dreaming world. So for one thing, lucidity fluctuates, and it doesn't matter how good you are at lucid dreaming, how long you've been doing this, your level of lucidity will be inconsistent. So there are times when I have had incredible success with lucid dreaming, where I've been lucid almost every single night, and the dreams have gone on for a considerable time, and I have had good control and good awareness, and then a week later I might have absolutely nothing, and it might stay that way for a long time. Whether you're a beginner or you've been doing it for ages, your lucidity will fluctuate. There are certain things that you can't control when it comes to getting lucid. So for me, I think when I'm going through a dry spell, stress definitely plays a large role in that. There are certain physiological things that I have no control over, which are going to determine my success with lucid dreaming. And I know there are moments when I go through these dry spells where I may only have 1 or 2 lucid dreams a month, or I might have a few lucid dreams but they're just not great in quality, where I start to doubt myself a little bit and start to wonder if really I'm not as good a lucid dreamer as I thought I was. So the thing to consider and to remember is you can be incredibly advanced but still struggle to get lucid. There are just some things that are out of your control. And speaking of control, I suppose one of the things that I would have considered a mark of a advanced lucid dreamer is, once upon a time, is how much control they can assert over their dream. So again, you would think that if you have a great level of control, if you were able to make things happen with very little effort, that would make you more advanced. But in all honesty, there are some things that I used to be able to do when I first started learning how to lucid dream that I struggle with now. So one of those things is making certain dream characters appear. So within the first year of me learning how to lucid dream, once I'd kind of managed to get lucid and keep the dream going, I would then try and make dream characters appear. And I would just tell myself that this person will be around the corner, they're going to come around the corner, they're going to be there. And they would look exactly how they were supposed to look and behave exactly how I wanted them to behave. And it was easy. Whereas in the last couple of years, I've found that to be exceedingly difficult. Usually if I'm looking for somebody, I will call out their name, or I'll tell myself they're in the next room. But what usually happens is I'll just get a mass of dream characters appear who kind of look similar to the person, but it's not them. And it gets very frustrating, and the more I try and find them, the more I just get bombarded with dream characters, and I never find that person. So something that was incredibly easy for me to do in the beginning has now become much harder later on. And when I try and think of a reason for this, I imagine it's because when I was first learning how to lucid dream, I only really had a handful of books, and I had no real presence in any online community, so I wasn't talking to anybody about lucid dreaming. And as I've found that as I became more involved in lucid dreaming communities, I was hearing so much misinformation and facts about lucid dreaming that weren't facts. So, for example, I always heard that it was impossible to turn a light on in a lucid dream, that if you mess around with a switch, it won't correspond, the light won't correspond with what you're doing with the switch. I always thought that was really strange, because why would that be true? Like, is that a universal thing? Is that true for everybody? And if so, why that one particular thing? You know, and what if my ultimate lucid dreaming goal was to turn a light on? It'd be a bit of a sad goal, but what if that was my goal? Why is that one thing the thing? And I believe that might have come from Waking Life, which is a film about lucid dreaming. And then people have kind of taken that and said that it's true, that you just can't do that in a lucid dream, and that's how you will know if you are dreaming or not. That's the reality check to do. So as you kind of pick up on these things, and you take in more and more information about lucid dreaming, you know, you subconsciously form an idea of what lucid dreaming is. You subconsciously build this framework, and if you have a lot of people telling you what you can and can't do in a lucid dream, you will start to believe that, and you will internalize that, and that will be your structure. You will believe something, and therefore the dream will correspond to that. And as I've kind of, I mean, this is, I do think it's great that we've got online communities for lucid dreaming. I think it's great that we can all talk to each other, that we have YouTube, but always be very careful with what you listen to and what you believe, because you then might take that, and your beliefs around lucid dreaming will be formed on that, and that can be very limiting. So beforehand, when I just kind of learned about lucid dreaming and how to do it, and kind of learned some basics, I hadn't built a framework yet. I hadn't learned what I was supposed to be able to do and what I was supposed to not be able to do, and therefore a lot of things were easier because I hadn't built any beliefs around it yet. So even though I'm a more advanced lucid dreamer than I was 8 years ago, in many ways I've kind of gone backwards, because I've allowed loads of things to influence my belief around dreaming. So dream control is having a large amount of control over your dreams a indicator of how advanced you are as a lucid dreamer? If you get lucid on a frequent basis, is that an indicator of how advanced you are? And of course the cat would like to leave the room at this point. Another factor is experience versus knowledge. So somebody who is a natural lucid dreamer might have a great deal of experience with getting lucid, but have absolutely no knowledge on the subject. After all, if they are a natural lucid dreamer, they haven't learned how to get lucid, they don't know about techniques or reality checks, they don't have any of the knowledge on the subject. Whereas there are lots of people who have very little experience in actually getting lucid and maintaining lucidity, but might have a great deal of knowledge on the subject. They may have read all the books, they may have looked in depth on techniques, they may be able to tell you a lot about lucid dreaming and how to do certain techniques, but they may not have the actual experience themselves. And I suppose it depends on what you value the most. And also, on a slightly similar topic, you also have the science-minded community, the people who prefer the more academic approach, who want to understand the mechanics behind getting lucid and how we can take it forward from that perspective versus the people who are more spiritual and have a great deal of knowledge about the spiritual side of it and how lucid dreaming can be used as a spiritual tool. And again, really, this is going to be down to preference and which side you align yourself with most. So for me, I'm gonna probably have a greater interest and a greater respect for the science side of things. That is the side that I'm on. I'm not saying the spiritual side is in any way negative. That's just my field. That's the side that I go towards. And for some people, that's going to mean nothing, and for other people, that's going to be the indicator of a more advanced lucid dreamer, perhaps. And the issue that I have kind of with the spiritual side is that I think it's quite easy to fake. Now, I'm not calling anybody out here. I'm not talking about anybody in particular, honestly. I'm just saying this as a general thing, that I feel a lot of people take advantage of the kind-hearted nature, the more empathetic nature of spiritual people and spiritual communities. And I think there are a lot of people who play on that, who try and get the vote of the spiritual person by playing into that a little bit. Again, this isn't aimed at anybody. Seriously, I'm not interested in any drama. It's just one of those things where I feel that you can infiltrate and bullshit your way into a spiritual community much easier than you can in a more science academic side of things. But I guess maybe I'm going off on a tangent slightly there, but I feel it's worth mentioning when it comes to talking about what an advanced lucid dreamer is, what an expert lucid dreamer, what a master lucid dreamer is, because some people are going to see someone with a more academic background as having more authority, and some people are going to see someone with a more spiritual background as having more authority. And I suppose lastly would be the content of a lucid dream. Does the content of your dream, or what you choose to use your dream for, can that be an indicator of how advanced you are? And this is something that I actually find quite amusing. When people talk about what they dream about, you get a lot of snobbery. If you are somebody who purely wants to use your lucid dreams for flying or shagging about, then by all means I think go ahead and do that. But you will get people who will look down on people for doing this and see them as being less advanced because they choose to use their dreams for fun rather than personal growth. And then I think there are people who constantly go on about personal growth and see that as the only true path within lucid dreaming, that if you're not using it to grow and to learn, then you're misusing it. And now, I mean, for me, obviously, I talk a lot about mental health and lucid dreaming has been a fantastic tool for that. It has been a fantastic tool for personal growth. It's helped me frame my perspective differently. It's helped me learn things about myself. It's helped me face things about myself. It has been an incredible tool for personal growth. But I don't just use it for that, because for one thing, it would get very heavy and quite stressful to constantly be going inside and analysing myself and learning about myself. It would just be tiring, and it would kind of make lucid dreaming feel quite stressful at times. Sometimes all I want to do when I get lucid is just kind of strip off all of my clothes and yell obscenities at people, because that's the thing I want to do when I'm awake, but I can't do because I'd get arrested. And that can be fine. I think you don't... If people start dictating what you should and shouldn't be doing within a lucid dream, then I just think it gets all a bit daft. So, what does it mean to be a master of lucid dreaming? Am I an expert of lucid dreaming? Can I say with full confidence that I am an expert? I don't really care. Once upon a time I would have cared, like again back at the beginning when getting lucid and learning how to lucid dream and having more frequent dreams and better control and better awareness was what I measured my progression as. Did that make sense? I'm not quite sure. But, you know, that was how I would have seen my journey of lucidity once upon a time. Whereas now, you know, if I don't get lucid for a month, yeah, I feel a bit like, you know, can I really call myself a lucid dreamer? But I'm comfortable with my level of lucidity. I'm comfortable with the frequency of my dreams. I'm comfortable with the level of... Well, no, actually, no. I mean, there are still things that I would like to have better mastery over. Again, with the issues that I have with dream control at the moment. But that's part of my journey. That's something that I'm going to have to learn how to get over. And I'm sure as the years go on, I will find more obstacles, and there will be things there that I didn't realise I had to overcome. And so for me, that's what being... I don't think that you can be an expert, because things are always going to change. And really, lucid dreaming is such an individual thing that you can only ever be an expert of your own lucid dreams. You can only ever master your own lucid dreams, and even then I'm going to say that that's not strictly true, because things fluctuate. As I said, sometimes you're going to be up there, you're going to be on it, and sometimes it's going to be down there, and it's a constant journey, and it's not linear. So yeah, how to be a lucid dreaming expert, I really don't know. Hey Rara, why don't you make yourself useful? Yeah, just no, that one. No, yeah, that one. Yeah, passes it here. Thank you. The level of production on this channel is... Now, if you would like to buy some sweet lucid dreaming merch, such as this t-shirt here, then don't forget to check out my Redbubble page, where you can find that design and many others. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, you can. There will be a link in the description below. I always appreciate anybody who is willing to support me in whatever way they are available to do so. As well as that, there is also a link and a discount code for 20% off on Vivid Dream products, which is also down below. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I've been Max, aka the Rara Rabbit. I'll see you in the next video.